the reality is, what drives me is what's best for students. And if a teacher is unhappy with that decision, they still have an obligation to perform for those students. And if they don't, then we have a different conversation that's unrelated.
Sorry.
Keep
How are you
coming,
gonna,
I like
how are
it.
you gonna choose, how is the process going to be for those kids that get to stay versus those who don't stay in the looping classroom? Because I'm worried about,
Student
like
placement,
clicks
this is
and,
one of the other
you know.
topics I'm gonna talk about. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Student placement is the teachers are the experts. They know the students well. They know the teachers well. Where you know your kids the best, you might not know all the teachers the best. And so those teachers that are looping, they're gonna meet with me, we're gonna sit down, and we're gonna try to identify some students that would be strong with other teachers, from a personality fit, from an academic fit, from a behavior fit. And I've also, like one of the things I said at my last coffee was, for parents, if you kind of have that insight of, this personality match might not be a good thing, that's why I said, please send me the email, let me know so I can keep that into consideration. But I'm going to meet with the individual teachers moving from grade to grade. We're going to sit down and identify students that would be strong with other people, and we're going to infuse other students that could benefit from being with that cohort of students that are staying together. Yeah.
Will the kids be finding out who their teacher is before the end of the school year like they have in the past?
I really haven't given that a lot of thought, but, realistically, I've never been in a school that has done it that early. And there's absolutely, I don't really, for me, it doesn't matter.
I feel like for my kids, it's helpful for them to know who they're going to be with, and
It may or may not be, I don't know
Yeah.
that. I don't want to have a situation where students find out who their teachers are and then I start getting emails on my way out the door. Because when I go on vacation, I'm on vacation, So, it might be a situation where we do it before, we might do it when they come back to school. I haven't really thought about that at all. But one of the things about me too that I like is, wherever possible, keeping things that were established and in place that work. So if that works, after I sit down and look at it, then that's what we'll do. I don't change things just to change them. So if I change it, it'll be a reason for it.
You start about hiring for the honors position? Or did I already do something?
Yeah.
I'll catch up. Fill her in.
No worries, no worries. Yeah.
Yeah, just feedback from the kid perspective, and it's just like, I think that it might be a nice thing to maybe even take a survey or something like that. It's helpful for the kids. I mean, we've been doing it for a while, and I don't know what kind of feedback, I think for the most part, people are like, okay, that's our teacher, and then they kind of wrap their head around it. They go to the classroom, they say who's gonna be there, because, there's a lot of shift each year, like, there's sometimes where, like, if you have a girl, like, she moves to another class where she really only knows one other girl well, but then she has that confidence that I know who's gonna be in my class. But I think we've been doing it for a while, and it seems like it is something that is helpful for the kids, and they're ready to hit the ground running. First day we get here, and supplies are dropped off Friday before, or whatever, but.
Sure. Like I said, if it's worked in the past, I'll keep it the same. One of the things I do is I always sit down and look at pros and cons, where might be issues with things like that. And I haven't spent any capacity thinking about that topic. So I don't know where those cons might be and what they are and how significant. I can anticipate, just based on past experiences, that it would be good for kids in a lot of ways, but I can see students saying, well, I'm not with my best friend. What is up with that? Like, I need to be with Shelly. Like, come on. Like, and that could be an issue too. I've seen that. But I don't know that. And so, like I said, it doesn't seem like a significant, like I have a bigger things that I'm worried about. So at some point when I get to that, like when we do the student placement, we'll sit down and think about those things. And most likely it will remain the same. Okay. Any other thoughts on any of the topics that we've covered so far? We talked about this. You guys had great questions, and I love it because I want to make sure that I try to be as transparent as possible. There's a couple other things from a day-to-day standpoint, we've been dealing with some type of bug. I don't know, you know, what it is. We've tried everything. We've had teachers wiping down desks and cleaning rooms. I reached out to the district to have the ABM folks come through and do a deep clean, whatever that is. And you know, I'm hopeful that we have kind of turned the tide with that. And we had a similar situation earlier in the year where a lot of kids were sick, and I think we're probably past it, but it's been something that's been wiping us out. We've had a lot of teachers out due to that as well. So hopefully everything is on the uptick from that front. Kind of broader, bigger topics that are concerning that you should be aware of. They just had the border, they talked about the borders for the new elementary school at the last district board meeting. And I was not in attendance, but Marcy, our assistant principal, was. And I think they kind of stopped that whole conversation dead in its tracks because they had a conversation about the implications for the middle school and who would be going to the middle school based on the boundaries that were established. I'm not a part of the committee, and so every once in a while I get information from Michelle Sonar, who is on the committee, or from Dr. Welsh, our superintendent, just to kind of make sure that I know kind of what direction we're going in. You know, for me, I don't know how they're going to shake this whole thing out or roll it out. I just know that at some point, maybe not next year, but the year after that, there'll be some impact on Boulder Creek. I just don't know what that impact is going to look like right now. That could be, you know, losing 50 kids. It could be losing 100 kids. I have no idea. But it would be something as a parent community that you might want to make sure that you get as much information as possible. Check the district website to see when they're having those, I don't know what they call them, but it's basically like a community meeting or something like that where you can go and hopefully get some information, because it's going to impact you all the same way it's going to impact me. So I would just kind of keep an eye on that, see where those conversations go.
At the last gather that you had mentioned that no one from Boulder Creek got selected to be on the committee.
Yeah, no parent. Yeah.
No parent. Do you know if any parents from Mountain Trail ever got selected? I know.
Do you know?
Are you talking about the elementary grade 3?
Um,
New elementary
yeah.
school?
Yeah, with all the boundary changes.
So I'm on school council for Mountain Trail, and all of us put our names in. I think all of us. They picked 3 community members, and one was he's the dean of students at Ferris Valley Community College, a gal from Honor Health, and then a church, somebody from a large church. So those were their community members. So no parents were picked from our specific areas. Now, I don't know about over there, if they got any people on that committee, but, yeah, so we were kind of surprised, but they did take, and I know 2 of them, they're really great people that I think have, really, but that being said, it's a really big decision. I think overall, there's, like you're saying, like, there has to be some changes overall in the district, because it's not just about that school, it's about all of them. We have 500 and something homes coming in right here. That's gonna affect us, whether the demographer's statement, I don't think it's correct. I mean, there's some major shifts that are gonna have to happen, but, I think elementary-wise, we're not really at risk for that new elementary school, but the bigger thing is the middle school.
Yeah.
Because Explorer's full, and Mountain Trail is not, but how do you divide a brand new community into sections and shift kids? So something big's gonna have to happen. They have to make those decisions, but unfortunately, nobody from like our school or Mountain Trail picked. Now, Katie Park, principal,
Yeah.
is on that, but
Right.
we haven't received any other information. They talked about whether it's gonna be K-6 or K-8, and they were recommending it would be the K-6. But the governing board has the authority to say yes, no,
Yeah.
or it's not.
Yeah, I think they tabled that at the board meeting because they weren't set on K6 versus K8, but like I said, I wasn't there. To your point, just so you know, I did put in for families, or our family members or community members, and selected a couple people to put forward to the district, and they were not selected. And those are people from our PTO. So I lobbied for that. For whatever reason, the selection didn't go through. I don't know why. I did get together with Katie at Mountain Trails, and between the two of us, we decided that one of us had to be on it, and we decided that that was going to be her, and she was going to represent our joint interests on the committee. But they still have some issues that they're trying to work out, and I don't know a whole lot about what that looks like right now. I just know that whenever it does happen, there will be some impact to us. I just don't know what the scope will be. So, yes.
I think I had to that. I went to the last governing board meeting that they had, and they said everything north of the 101 is going to be rezoned or looked at being rezoned, starting the 2021, 2022 is when they're aiming for. So everything north of the 101 is kind of up for movement for the government.
So I'll keep monitoring that. If I get any information, I'll obviously share that stuff out with the community, either through my various communications or through this or some other medium. Those are all the topics that I had. And so if there's any general questions that I can answer for you, now would be a really good time to ask those, and then we can kind of wrap things up. No questions? That must mean I did a pretty good job.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
Is there a way to utilize the other parking lot for drop-off? I know everyone doesn't want the kids going through the office, but the kindergarten drop-off, a lot of parents are still getting out, or they're sitting to watch their child walk through the gate. So, and then parents are driving around. It's still a little bit crazy. So I didn't know if there's a way to utilize the other parking lot, or at least if we have two drop-offs going, I feel like it would